I'll be honest about it. Like, I felt like I was going in a downward spiral. Obviously, when you aren't doing good in racing, or at least having those results, it don't matter if you're running 10th and you get wrecked. People look at that number. They go on that racing reference and they look up, oh, she finished 36. Well, yeah, because I was running 8th and I got jumped. And so people look a lot at that end number and don't see how it went throughout the race. And I think with that, though, it becomes like, okay, what if sponsors are getting unhappy? What if whoever, the team's not believing you? Whatever it is, like, I feel like, and those aren't things like, my team believes in me, and I'm super thankful for that. I have a really good crew of guys behind me. It makes it hard to find sponsors when those results aren't there. And plain and simple, because people look at that end result number and don't see if you are getting better or you're not, whatever it is.
Hello, and welcome in everybody here to another episode of the Full Send Half Mast podcast. Tonight we'll be running a little rogue. I'm feeling a little under the weather, just fine. Give him a day to recover here, but you have to do with my ugly mug here for this hour here tonight on this Full Send Half Mast podcast, Tuesday, April 9th, the week before the Dega games, which I'm excited about. I'll talk about that here a little bit more as we get into this podcast as well. But tonight, mainly, we're going to talk about all of the NASCAR races there at Martinsville, the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup all on deck this weekend there at Martinsville. Got some talking points there for sure. It'll be a fun little conversations there going on with that whole deal. And then as well as the Formula One race this weekend in Japan at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix weekend. Can't wait to talk about that with you guys. We'll also go over our infamous driver and bonehead moves of the week segments as well with those polls for you guys as well. We'll go over the point standings and in Formula One, NASCAR, and then I'll preview this weekend's races at Texas Motor Speedway and a little bit of NASCAR fantasy. And there's an announcement as well. We've mentioned it here a few times, but if you're a fan of the Back Markers Racing League, I got a little bit of an announcement here for you later tonight. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. All right, we'll go over a little bit of news here to start off this evening. First off, Austin Hill is announced that he's going to be making some partial starts in the Cup Series with RCR this year. If you guys have been hanging around the Dega Boys channel, you guys know how I feel about Austin Hill and RCR, especially after last year, Martinsville in particular, with our boy old Sheldon Creed over there. Expectations are very minimal. I don't think that the Cup Series car is suitable for people to actually showcase their talent. We've talked about this many times on the podcast. I don't think this is going to evolve into anything. But he will be making his first start this weekend at Texas, and I would talk about that here a little bit later when we preview this weekend's races at Texas. Also, some injury reports here in the world of motorsports. I hate to come on here and say this because it sucks whenever this stuff happens. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Racing's about having fun. It's not about getting hurt. Nobody wants to see that. But this week, Alpine driver Ferdinand Hansberg suffers of multiple vertebrae fractures in a test in Spain in the World Endurance Championship. Alpine driver. That's just unfortunate. Hoping for a speedy recovery by him, and we could see him back on the track here before long. We know how long it takes to heal these vertebrae fractures. That's an injury that takes time to recover from. And then even when you get back, it's a long process to get back to where you were 100% anyway. We've seen that with multiple drivers and multiple series throughout the years. Wishing him the best of luck on that one as well. And then another one, man, this guy, It's one of my favorite drivers in the Pilot Challenge series. I pretty much pick him as a favorite every dang race. I'm a huge Robert Wickens fan. I really like Robert Wickens, and unfortunately, he had a big crash this week at the Nürburgring and was hospitalized. Don't have any more big time reports or news about that at the moment, but we're wishing Robert Wickens a speedy recovery here, and hopefully we can see him back on track. Pilot Challenge isn't going to be the same without him. I'm telling you, it's not going to be the same without him. Also, me and Tom actually made a video about this. I don't know, January 21st, I think is what it was. I was watching it today because it kind of popped up in a lot of people's recommended after the news that was reported, which I think is pretty cool. We had comments on it, and the viewership went up by like fivefold. You know, it's pretty crazy how this video kind of boomed. It's like we're a bit of race car Nostradamuses over here at the Dega Boys channel, but Prima has announced that they're going to be making 2 full-time entries in IndyCar next year, running Chevrolet entries. I'm super freaking excited about this. I mean, I could get into depth and talk about this, but if you guys really want to, you guys can go on the channel and watch the video we made a couple months ago about this whole thing. Wow, I'm super excited. The growth of IndyCar is just so great right now with the good old boys club in Formula One, and some of the best drivers aren't even getting opportunities in Formula One. A lot of new teams that want to enter Formula One can't enter Formula One. Prima probably one of those teams that would love to be in Formula One, but they're never going to get an opportunity. It's never going to happen. They're not going to add any new teams unless you buy into a team. So, um, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I don't know what expectations are for them to do well in IndyCar their first year, but with that Chevrolet alliance, I mean, Chevrolet's been really good in IndyCar as of late. We'll see. Um, we'll see if they can have some success next year. I'm curious to see what their driver lineup's going to look like, though. There's a lot of good drivers out there that they can pick from. One in particular who just got announced as the replacement driver for David Malukas at Long Beach for McLaren is Teo Pourchaire, your Formula 2 champion last year. Did he maybe decide, you know what, I love Super Formula, it's a lot of fun. I would love to still get into Formula One, but those opportunities are pretty freaking narrow right now, especially with the driver pool that they just keep rotating around right now. Um, why not? Why not IndyCar? I mean, part of me wants to see David Malukas come back because I really like David Malukas, but then part of me is like, you know what? I would love to see Teo Pourchaire in that Aero McLaren around Long Beach and see what he could do in an IndyCar because I think he's got a lot of talent. He proved it last year by winning the Formula 2 championship. So maybe he comes to IndyCar, has a really good run. Maybe he enjoys it. Maybe he loves racing in it, and he's like, you know what, Prima, I'll go race for Prima in IndyCar. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. That'd be awesome to bring more international intrigue to IndyCar. The way IndyCar's going, I believe that we are gonna get rotated away from ovals, which is a big dub. I think for IndyCar, I think we need to. I think ovals have just overstayed their play here in IndyCar, and I would love to see us go more international, run more road and street courses around the world, and build that international intrigue. And then when you get teams like Prima trying to invest, there's rumors that maybe a Pratt Miller team. They run an IMSA with Corvette right now in the GTD or the GTD Pro class. Like, why can't we see maybe them jump in soon? We know Dreyer Reinbold, they're on the fence. Maybe they want to go full time. Maybe not. Who knows? Dale Coyne's still hanging around. I mean, there's a lot of interest in IndyCar, and I would love to see 33 full time entries every week on the IndyCar schedule and we run international and street course. I think it would be an absolute dub for IndyCar. I think that IndyCar is growing and on our channel, especially with a lot of the IndyCar content that we've been making, there's a lot of Formula One fans that are, hey, lifetime Formula One fan here. Like I am gonna give IndyCar a try, and then they comment back a week later and like, wow, I actually enjoyed that. I mean, it was hard to keep up with at first because they're used to Formula One, but I was like, yeah, you'll pick up on it. You just got to keep watching a little bit more. And so I'm super excited for the future of IndyCar. I think we're going in the right direction. I think that $1 million challenge was a big success. A lot of people didn't like the racing, but I don't think that was the whole point of the deal. I think it was to bring more intrigue and more money value to the sport. Um, I just think that IndyCar is doing all the right steps. The next step we need to make is we need to make the Indy 500 a non-points race, an exhibition type event. And then we need to get rid of like 80% of the ovals. We need to run maybe 3 ovals a year at the most if we're going to stay on the oval route. I mean, that's just the way I feel. I want to go international. I want to see international street courses, road courses. less ovals, more investment, more manufacturer investment. More manufacturers would be awesome. More than just the Honda and Chevy manufacturers would be great. I'm just super excited. Big news there with Prima. It opens a door to just more intrigue and more opportunity, and I'm super excited about it. Also, Del Coyne announced their second driver there for the 8500. They're going to bring Catherine Legg in again. Or she's going to make another attempt at the 8500. She ran there last year, had some issues. Probably won't do very well. It's Del Coyne at Indianapolis 500. I mean, it's the expectations are low. So, but congratulations to her getting another Indy 500 opportunity. That's awesome. I think that increases the Indy 500 field up to about 35 or 36 for this year, which is the most we've seen in the last couple years. So I'm super excited to see what the Indy 500 is going to bring this year. All right, I went through some of this news here. We're going to next go over the races this weekend. Oh, Martinsville, NASCAR and short track racing. I've got a lot to talk about. So let's get into the truck race to start. The truck race on Friday, the Long John Silver's 200. Saw Ty Majeski qualify a pole. Really, I could go over a full breakdown of all the cautions and all the wrecks, but honestly, I think the best way to describe this truck race was absolute mayhem, carnage, destruction, garbage racing. And it's so sad because the Truck Series used to be the premier series in NASCAR. It was better than the Cup. The Xfinity there for a few years was just terrible, and the Truck Series carried the banner for NASCAR. And it was amazing racing. The driver pool was amazing. The track selection they went to was good. They were doing experimental stuff, like we're going to Canadian Tire for races. We're running on dirt with Eldora. I mean, we were doing all kinds of fun stuff with the schedule. And then we got more into a traditional NASCAR style schedule. The driver pool got worse. The respect went away. We're just having paid rich kids driving in these cars that have no respect. And and even the veterans have become this elaborate destruction gang, I guess is what you could say. I mean, you've got Matt Crafton, Stuart Freeze, and Grant Enfinger in this race, all running over people. Young drivers getting ran over, young drivers running over people. It was an absolute joke. And then on top of that, the broadcast is terrible. We've said this many times on the channel. Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip, and Jamie Little. It's just a bad combo in the booth. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, it's almost unwatchable at this point. Well, no, it's not even almost. It is. It is unwatchable at this point. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It is unwatchable, the broadcast. And what the topper on the cake, the frosting on the cake here, the real good stuff. You know, you got to get the good stuff and then get into the cake part of this whole deal is we have a full throttle segment. Well, we call it full throttle because that's what it is, full throttle. But they had to crank it up under a commercial. We've been clowning that we get crank it ups under yellow, we get crank it ups under pit stops. Nope, they went full bore to the other end of the spectrum. They went straight full or crank it up right under the damn commercial break. I don't get it. I don't understand. The last thing I want to do is to tune in for a crank it up under commercial. Last thing I want to do anyway in a truck race that should only take an hour and a half to complete anyway is a crank it up segment anyway to begin with, and then number two to do it under a commercial. A commercial. I don't want to see commercials on my TV when I'm watching a race. And then on top of that, we got to crank it up. We're cranking up the commercial. I had to turn the volume down because the commercial's cranked up. I don't know what's going on. It is an absolute joke, an absolute shame, disgrace. Shout out to Zach Bates, by the way. What a Chad this guy is. He created a petition for the Dega Boys to broadcast the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races. I love it, man. I love it. I know they would never hire us because the way modern sports broadcasting is now, it's not about entertainment. It's about analysis and relaxed and we're at a dinner tea party and we're holding our little glasses up like this with our pinky in the air, you know. That's the way they want these broadcasts to be. They don't want the excitement. I mean, just look at like the WWE, how exciting those broadcasts are. I don't watch it, but I know it's exciting because they just scream and yell at TV the whole time and you're just on the edge of your seat. But then you go watch a NASCAR race and it's exciting and they want to crank it up on a commercial. They want to talk about stats and this and that and storytelling and I'll talk more about that when we get to the cup race too, because there's a lot more BS there on the cup side too. It's not any better from one team to the next at Fox. It's I don't know if they're just completely trying to butcher these broadcasts. I don't know if these personalities aren't personalities. I don't know what it is anymore, and it's awful. But shout out to you, Zach Bates. Thanks for thinking about the Dega Boys, trying to get us a little bit of a deal here, starting this petition. So if you guys end up coming across this petition, sign it. Sign it. Let's get the Dega Boys on the Crash Truck Series. I think it'd be great. Oh man. Also, I want a few things here in the truck race. Um, yeah, Matt, like I mentioned, Matt Crafton ends up dumping Taylor Gray at one point in this race. An absolute egregious move into the turn. I think he washed up and absolutely just wiped him out. It was bad. It was just bad. Matt Crafton, the guy that goes out, whines and moans and complains about everybody else, and then he goes out and does the same stuff. So it's like it is what it is. It's Matt Crafton. He needs to retire. Uh, People argue he's a Hall of Famer. I'll argue he's not, but that's another conversation for another day. We'll save that one. But yeah, that's gonna nominate you, Matt Craft, as a bonehead move of the week. Also, Lane Riggs, man. Lane Riggs. I mean, this guy, man, he couldn't catch a break in this race. It was every damn time he was around somewhere. Somebody's dumping him. Somebody's wrecking him. I mean, it's just poor Lane Riggs, man. He was running so good. At one point, he was up in the top 3, had a very fast truck, and it was looking like he's finally going to put a lot of this bad luck in his season behind him. And then it was like every caution, he's turned around by somebody. And it's this guy, man. He just couldn't catch a break. It was unbelievable. I mean, I know you'll have your superstar fans. They'll be telling you, oh, yeah, they get wrecked every week by everybody. But Lane Riggs literally was a punching bag in this race. I mean, poor guy, man. Holy cow. Unbelievable. But to recap some of the stages here, trying to remember here. Yes, Majeski on pole. I think Eckes swept both stages. Yeah, Eckes clean sweep. Yeah. Wins stage 1, stage 2, and then ends up winning the race. We had a little bit of drama between Enfinger and Friesen at the end of this race. I mean, like I said, Crafton, just two dudes that should know better, have the experience, and they're over here racing like toddlers. I don't know, man. Truck Series is a joke anymore. The broadcast is a joke. The series is a joke. The drivers are a joke. It's a joke. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's unwatchable. I think if we could get some more entertainment in value in the booth, I think we could save the Truck Series. I do. Because at the end of the day, if you want it to be an entertainment series, which it is, it's not racing anymore. Truck Series ain't racing. It hasn't been racing the last 3 years. It's an entertainment series. It is literally the WWE of NASCAR is the Truck Series. So let's make it the WWE. Let's just fully embrace it. Let's just accept it, and let's go straight into a full entertainment style broadcast. And that's the way you save the Truck Series. Also, one more note before I get out of the Truck Series here. Well, I guess 2 more things. I want to talk about Cam Waters for this debut. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. He was a fish out of water. He said he had fun, which is good, but dang, man. If I'm making a NASCAR debut, I'm not going to Truck Series. I'm going straight to Xfinity. I'm bypassing the trucks. I don't care if the money to buy that ride is a little bit more for the Xfinity. I'm doing the Xfinity, dude. I am not running a truck race, dude. No way, dude. No way. That's just no fun. So, power to him, though, man. Like, he stuck it out. He tried his hardest, but ended up getting some damage there. Ran into the back of one of his teammates there on one of those checkup things. I mean, he was a fish out of water. Poor guy. So, hopefully it doesn't stay in his taste in NASCAR. He said he enjoyed it. So, hopefully we get to see him back and doing some more stuff. I know he's making some cup starts later this year with RFK in that 60. So, hopefully we can see him more in a more competitive series, which Xfinity, yes. And then last thing I want to say here is Majeski. I picked him to win this race. Holy cow. He just can't do it. Can't do it. How many times in a row is he going to be that close to a Martinsville victory and not get it done? I don't know. It's unreal. He should have won this race, I feel like. I mean, Eckes was the best car, but I mean, Majeski, I mean, holy cow, he had a fast car too, or a fast truck too, and he was really competitive, and he just found every way in the world to lose that race. And yeah, I'll talk about that too here in a minute as well. Oh, my mic is a little bit quiet. Oh man. All right, well, let me just move closer to it or turn it up a little bit here. Bear with me. Let's see. Filters. One second here. Just turn this thing all the way up, huh? Let's just get it up here so we can actually hear me, right? Sorry about that. Oh man. Alrighty. Let's talk about the Xfinity race on Saturday, the Dudes Wipe 250. This race was amazing. I love the Xfinity series. I can't ever say anything bad about the Xfinity series. I really thoroughly enjoyed this race. There was strategy. We had comers and goers. But it was Martinsville, and if we know anything about Martinsville and the Xfinity series last few years, it's just gonna be the way it was this weekend. Basically, I just want to give a big shout out to Eric Almirola. Finally wins a race with Gibbs. Well, he had won one before, but that was if everybody remembers, that was that debacle race where Denny Hamlin came in late on the helicopter, showed up, jumped in the car after Almirola had ran the first part of the race, and then Almirola got a credit for the win, even though Hamlin won the race. But nonetheless, he gets the win with JGR finally in that same number 20. So I think that was a pretty cool storyline. And plus, he was the best car in this race. It was without a doubt he was the best car in this race, and he ran a fantastic race. So I'm super excited for Almirola. He won stage 1 as well. Allgaier ended up winning stage 2 through a little bit of strategy. I thought I'd mention that as well. But basically, what I want to talk about in this race here. Oh, man. Way better, he says. First time tuning into the podcast. Yes. I knew that was you, Logan. Thanks for tuning in, man. Hopefully you enjoy it. We're going to be talking about some stuff here tonight. So thanks for tuning in. Yeah, first time of the podcast. Tom couldn't make it here tonight, unfortunately. But I'll carry on here. Alrighty. Yes, the main thing I want to talk about in this race here. Oh, my goodness. This is, yes. If you watch the beginning of this podcast, I had that little meme of the week that we do in the intro part of the podcast. Oh, your superstar, the best driver in NASCAR, everybody's hero, everybody's favorite, the superstar of all superstars, the next coming of God himself, Miss Hailie Deegan. What in the absolute life of me was happening in this race? She wrecks early on, gets the whole front end ripped off that thing because she tries to, I don't remember who it was. Somebody, I can't even remember. It's irrelevant. Somebody was on the inside of her going through turns 1 and 2. She tries to run him down onto that little berm there on the inside of Martinsville. Ends up wiping herself out. Ends up getting the nose ripped off that thing. And then on the stage 2 restart, she's already got a damaged race car. Brandon Jones ends up missing a shift. The whole field kind of piles in. But what really makes it so bad here for Miss Queen Hailie Deegan here is she's running dead last. She's coming off of, I believe it was turn 4 at the time, or maybe it's turn 2. I can't even remember. It was turn 4. Yes. She's dead last, way behind, tore up race car. She absolutely pile drives in there. It was like Daytona all over again, but worse. She shoves the 91 into somebody. Like, she shoved like 3 cars, like domino effect, into the wreck, just piles them all in. Unbelievable. The brake pedal on that car must have been broken. I can't wait to hear the excuse on this one. Holy cow, that was just absolutely miserable. She is terrible. She's absolutely freaking garbage. I mean, I was excited to come on this podcast to talk about how terrible your best driver in NASCAR is, because if you listen to anybody on the internet, they're telling you Hailie Deegan's the greatest thing that ever walked in a pair of shoes, man. Best thing that ever woke up in the morning. I mean, it's unbelievable how these fans react to this, and it's somebody else's fault. And then they look at the end of the day, her car looks like it was in a freaking demolition derby at your local freaking county fair. And her fans are all excited because she got an 18th place finish. Whoop-de freaking do! 18th place in Xfinity Series. Oh my God. Woohoo! and telling us it's the worst car in the series. It's a dumpster fire, piece of garbage race car. Our crew don't know what the hell they're doing. They can't even hear her on the radio, and they can't even get an electrical unit put together in that race car, and they can't put the fuel in the race car and all this crap. And it's like, these bands don't realize that she has the Ford backing of SHR in the Xfinity Series. They are the premier Ford team. She's got the best equipment that Ford can give her, possibly. I mean, I'm tired of this Hailie Deegan experience. It's ran its course. It's failed. She goes on these podcasts and she says, "Oh yeah, stats matter." Well, your stats are dog water. They're garbage. You suck. I mean, and my next point here is, as a racing fan, it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Whether it's next year, the year after, it's gonna happen. But as a racing fan, I don't want to see her in the Cup Series. I don't. It's gonna be a failed experiment. Everybody says Danica 2.0, but I think she's worse. She's worse than Danica, for one. Number two, as a content creator, yes, let's get her in the Cup Series. I'm here for it as a content creator. As a racing fan, hell no. As a content creator, hell yeah, bring it on. Let's do it. I want her to be in that number 11 FedEx Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. I want to see it. The number 19 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Let's put her in the 48 Hendrick car. I want to see it, man. Let's put her in the best freaking car in the Cup Series. Let's do it. I want to see it. Let's see her run 35th every day in a Joe Gibbs Racing equipment and just absolutely junk every car every week, and then listen to her fans tell us that it's everybody else's fault. I can't wait for it, man. Let's bring it on. Let's do it. Let's freaking do it. I'm here for it. Let's bring it on. Let's get her done. What's the holdup already? Oh, man. She's terrible. She's terrible. And it sucks because there's actually good female race car drivers out there that are doing good things and could actually succeed in that position. And she's the token child. And she doesn't care about other female race car drivers. She doesn't even care to grow the sport as a female race car driver. She's just there for the attention and the money and to say she was there. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. She has no care in the world. And it's absolutely disgrace. It's terrible. So, yeah. I was going to have a call in. We had a Hailie Deegan fan that wanted to call in tonight, but we'll save that for another week. We'll get their full on intrigue. It'll be great. I don't even know what else to talk about the Xfinity Series. Besides, it was a great race, but it's Martinsville. You're going to have those type of things happen at Martinsville. Poor Jeremy Clements, though. I mean, that guy's car looked just as bad as Deegan's car, and he was getting ran over. He got put into that big wreck there on that checkup with Brandon Jones. It was just, yeah, it was crazy. But Hailie Deegan, that ARCA breakdown, that's going to nominate you as bonehead move of the week right there. I could put you as driver of the week because, honestly, you did get an 18th place finish with a destroyed race car, but honestly, I don't even care anymore. Your stats are just exactly proof of that. And then for her to have the audacity to say, "Oh yeah, I was running 8th and I got junked." No, you weren't. When have you ever ran 8th besides a pit sequence where you stayed out longer than everybody else? 8th. You don't even know what 8th place feels like. You don't even know. Goodness gracious. Keep warming up the back of the field for us, will you? Yeah, Xfinity Series is great. I love Xfinity Series. I can't wait to see some more races in the Xfinity. I can't wait to see the Xfinity Talladega race. I think it's gonna be great. I'm seriously holding on for hope that where I'm camping there in turn 2, we see Hailie Deegan just piled into the big one right there. That would be the greatest content you could ever ask for. Hopefully, I'm filming it at the time. Can't wait to bring that great content to you guys. So, with that being said, I'll move on from the Xfinity Series. We'll talk about the Formula One race next, the Japanese Grand Prix. Qualifying, I mean, just simple as it could be. Red Bull qualifies up front. If anybody's been keeping up with Formula One, Williams has had an absolute atrocious start to this year. I mean, they've wrecked in just about every race. They're out of cars. They don't have any more backup cars. They end up having to sit Logan Sargent out last week because they didn't have a backup car for him. So they've moved Albon into Sargent's car because Albon wrecked in the last Grand Prix. And then we get into practice. I think it was FP1 of all practices. Logan Sargent ends up eating the wall, destroys his race car. They end up getting it repaired enough for him to run the Grand Prix, which is lucky. But lap one, I don't know what Daniel Ricciardo was doing here. I don't get it, man. Daniel Ricciardo's washed. He's done. Tom is specifically. I did a little bit as well, but Tom specifically came here during the offseason and was saying, "Yep, this is Daniel Ricciardo's year to succeed. This is his tryout period to prove that he still has it, and he's going to end up being in that Red Bull seat by 2025 and replace Perez." And I was here for it. I thought it was going to happen. I've always been a pretty big Daniel Ricciardo fan. But it's blatantly obvious. He's getting outperformed on a weekly basis by Sonoda. He can't even outperform the Sauber cars on most race weekends. It's over. It's over. Ricciardo's washed. Daniel's done. Lap one, I don't know what he was doing. He gave Albon no room on the outside. They end up making contact. Both of them go straight into the tire barrier. They're in turn 2. Another Williams car destroyed. I don't think they're going to finish the season. I think it's over. Formula One doesn't want to increase the grid, so what they want to do is decrease the grid. So they're just getting it by natural selection here with the Williams team just absolutely destroying their car every week. So that's unfortunate. I don't know what they're going to do for China here, and not this weekend, but next weekend. I don't know where they're going to get another car from. Are they going to have to buy one from somebody else? Or are they going to trot out an old F2 car or something? One of their old show cars out of their shop? I don't know what's going to happen with Williams. It's unbelievable. They ain't going to have enough cars. It's and that's another guy, Albon. It's like we came on here and on the offseason and we're like, yeah, Albon's so underrated. We could see him maybe in a Mercedes car at the end of start of 2025. I mean, God, he maybe gets another chance at Red Bull and challenges Ricciardo for that Red Bull seat. And his season has been awful. I mean, Alpine's non-existent. It's crazy what's happening in Formula One right now. Really, the only things I want to talk about real quick is the multiple strategies in this race. I'll talk about that here in a second. First off, though, Verstappen wins another race. We said it was going to rebound. I mean, that was kind of an oddity. It was kind of a conspiracy moment if you paid attention to the podcast a couple weeks ago. He ends up winning again. Perez wins again, or finishes second, gets back on the podium. And then Sainz, P3 again, which I think he is probably your second or third best driver in Formula One right now, in my opinion. He rounds out your podium. Verstappen with the fast lap at the end of the race. I'll talk about the points here in a second. But this race, multiple strategy races. Leclerc, I believe he was on like a one-stop strategy. It nearly worked out for him, though. He did make a mistake going up into the gravel, allowed like the McLaren to go by of Norris. Also, Sainz went by. That was pretty unfortunate for him. I don't think he was ever going to get a podium, even with that strategy. It was never going to work out anyway. So he does come home like P5, I believe, at the end of the race, which is still a good result. It would have been cool to see him on the podium, though. I think he would have needed it for that confidence. I think he would have needed it for Ferrari to contend here in this constructors. I don't know. It's interesting what's going on there with the strategies of Ferrari. During this race, I was like, oh, Ferrari, here they are. They're at it again. They're going to mess the strategy up. And somehow it all worked out. I don't know how. But my biggest takeaway at this race, and I guess my biggest takeaway with where Formula One is as a sport right now, is in this race, your only battles were for the podium between Leclerc, Norris, and Sainz. And that was the only other battle. The other battle is, and it's been this way all season long, the midfield battle's gone. Stop with this whole the midfield battle saves Formula One. It's not like that anymore. When Hamilton and Mercedes were on their big run, where were your battles? From 7th to 13th. Every single race. That was the battle. Anyone that can finish 7th through 13th every week, that was who was going to get your points. I mean, it could change on a weekly basis. I mean, you could finish 11th through 13th one week. Next week, you're 7 through 9. I mean, that was the era of Formula One where we saw good midfield battles. Midfield battle's gone. It's dead. There is no midfield battle anymore. The midfield battle, or what it used to be, is now a backmarker battle. It's 12th through 16th every week. 12th through, or 13th through 17th every week. Somewhere in that range. Racing for no points, racing for nothing but pride. And and then when your only other battle is the podium, there is no battle in Formula One anymore. The separation disparity is terrible. And if Christian Horner had his way, we'd only have 4 teams on the grid anyway. It would be Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, and Red Bull Junior. Everybody else would, and I guess McLaren. I guess we'd have 10 cars on the grid because Zach Brown would find a way to knee pad his way into that situation or that good boy club because that's what he always does. Yeah, it's just F1's dead with the battles. It's gone. Logan, one thing from quali, I guess you can point out. Charles said that this poor performance due to the non-sufficient warming tires, and he said going forward will work on that in his qualifying approach. Yeah. I think that's just a Ferrari issue. I mean, Ferrari is hit and miss at qualifying. They've been that way the last 2 years. Either they're gonna do really good in qualifying and be contending right there on the front row with the Red Bulls, or they're gonna qualify like they did this weekend behind the McLaren. It's just Ferrari is hit and miss in qualifying. I think they are. Well, no, I don't even think anymore. They are the best second best team on the grid. I believe they got the third, fourth, second best driver, somewhere in that range. I think they're going to be all right. I mean, I think if it goes the way it did last year with the championship battle and how Perez just absolutely fell off a cliff after Monaco last year, I believe we'll see Ferrari win the Constructors' Championship this year. I don't think that's a reach at all. I think that's completely in play here. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. I'm starting to lean towards the fact that Tom brought this up last week in the podcast. I'm starting to lean towards Sainz is a better driver than Leclerc, and I really do believe that. And it's kind of sad that he's ran his course there with Ferrari. I don't think Lewis Hamilton's going to do much better. And I think Lewis Hamilton's only going to Ferrari because he got exposed at Mercedes. He's never had to race a car that wasn't the best on the grid. And the first time he does with Mercedes last couple of years, he runs. He runs and cries and runs away like a little baby. So, yeah, it sucks for Sainz. I think Sainz paired up with Verstappen would be a good combo. I just don't think it'll ever happen for the reason in the fact that this happened and played out before. And to be honest, Verstappen isn't the type of guy that's going to want to work with a guy at his caliber. He loves having Perez as a teammate because he knows he's going to have no contention. So, well, I don't think that that's going to happen. Christian Horner will shut that down. But we'll have to wait and see. I think that's about it. I mean, the one more to go on to that Williams thing as well. They had a pretty big scare late in the race there when Logan Sargent went right off the track. That could have been a terrible moment for McLaren, for Williams if they would have wrecked both cars in this race. I don't know how they're going to finish the season. I really don't. I think it's cashed. I don't know what they're going to do. I agree. Sainz is a better overall driver. Leclerc is a qualifying merchant and had mid-race pace. Yeah, well, I was impressed though with Leclerc this weekend with that strategy that they put him on. He did the best he possibly could with that strategy. So I'll give him credit for that. I still think Charles is a great driver. I think that he's getting exposed, especially this year. Sainz has really proven to be a better driver, and it's awesome. And I would love to see Carlos Sainz say peace out to the F1 series and go over to IndyCar. I would love to see him and Pelot, 2 Spanish drivers racing with Ganassi, or even if Sainz went to like Andretti, we have a Ganassi Andretti battle, or even Penske. Penske would open up a 4th car for him. I think that'd be awesome. I'd love to see a great Spanish championship battle between those two. I think it'd be awesome. But that's just the motorsports fan in me wanting to see something cool like that. All right, for F1 points, I'll go over that real quick. F1 points, here it is. Okay, so Verstappen still your championship leader. He's 13 points over Perez in second, and then he's 18 points over Leclerc in third. And then for the constructors' points, we have Red Bull is at 141, Ferrari at 120, so 21 points back for Ferrari. And like I said, I still believe Ferrari's going to win the Constructors' Championship. I believe that was one of our bold predictions in the offseason, and I think it's going to happen. It might be a 21-point gap now, but if Perez falls off a cliff and Sainz and Leclerc keep running like they've been running, I think it's a possibility. I think it is. And then McLaren is there in P3 with 69 points. They're 72 back. I think it's going to be a Ferrari-Red Bull Constructors battle to the end. Alrighty. Let's talk about that one series that runs on Sundays that claims to be a racing series that sucks. That would be the NASCAR Cup Series. The Cookout 400 this weekend. Uh, I'll just go over real quick the stage winners and the winner of the race. Larson qualifies a pole. Larson wins stage 1. Hamlin wins stage 2. I'll talk about that more. And then also William Byron wins the race and a green light checker finish. Major things I want to talk about here. What did we learn at Bristol? What did we learn at Bristol? Oh, that's right. You can build a tire that wears in 40 to 50 laps. And you know what? You can have a damn good banger of a race. One of the greatest races we've ever seen. So what happens the last couple weeks? We have 2 short tracks. We have Richmond. We have Martinsville. So what did we do? What did we learn? What did we learn from Bristol? We learned nothing. Nothing was learned. We learned absolutely zero. We went back to square one. BS garbage. Jesus Stone, Flintstone, God Rockstone tires again. Like we do every time we go to a short track. Like I said, it's a conspiracy, but I think it's dead 100% true. NASCAR is taking short tracks. It's proved it. They've proved it. They proved it this season. They bring these stone rock freaking tires. And the biggest thing here that really makes me mad is why pit? Why pit? I am 100% convinced you could go 500 laps on one set of tire. I'm 100% convinced you could have ran this entire race. What was it, 400 laps? You could have ran the full 400 on one set of tires. You know why I believe that? Because Logano started the race, finished the stage 1 on the same set of left sides, comes down pit lane, puts on 2 tires, inherits the lead. And what did he do? Oh, what did he do with not even the best car? Like, he had probably the 7th best car in this race. He was able to go on a set of left side tires for 180 laps. He didn't get passed for the stage win by Hamlin until, 5 to go? And he still ended up finishing like 4th or 5th in the stage. With the 7th best car. That's bad. That's broken. NASCAR, that's a bad look. That's a bad look. You're going off a cliff here. You're going to ruin your sport. But they don't care. They don't care. They're trying to tank short tracks. They don't want short tracks anymore. The fans don't want short tracks. They say they do, but they don't because they're just going to bitch and whine and complain about it and moan about it. We get Bristol and 13% of the fans go, we don't like it because they're Atlanta fans. They're those Dale, yeah, super speedway, Atlanta, demolition derby, let's wreck 95% of field fans. So what does NASCAR do? They learn nothing. They learn absolutely nothing. They go build these stone rock tires again. The width of these tires is absolute garbage. We've said this for months. And I can keep bitching about it. And I want to, but I'm not going to. I'll spare you guys this week. I'll completely spare you guys about my bitching right here about these tires. Because me and Tom have talked about this for over a year now. Nothing's going to change. And you know what? There's other channels on the YouTube, other people prominent in the sport of NASCAR, even drivers. One of them that's a clown. They're out here speaking about the tires. They've been copying the same talking points that Tom and I have talked about for the last year. It's getting talked about now. Save short tracks. We need softer tires. We need those and this. It's like we've been saying this. Talking to NASCAR is like talking to Helen Keller. They don't see what's going on and they can't hear you anyway. So I could come here and bitch and moan about it, but NASCAR's dead. It's dead. It's dead. It's done. And once we hear the announcement, which is going to be coming here in the next 6-8 months, that Texas is going to go under the knife and it's going to get a repave. You know what? They're going to reconfigure it to an Atlanta. It's going to be Atlanta. Once we hear Kansas get announced that we're going to go and turn it into Atlanta. Charlotte will be next. And you know what? I'm to the point now where I don't care. I don't care. That's what the fans want. That's what they're going to get. I've invested way too much of my life, time, and effort into this sport for them just to come down to my face and just tell me that this is the way it's going. This is the way we need to do things. No, it's not. You lost a lifetime fan. You're losing lifetime fans. You're trying to gain new fans by running out your old fans. And these new fans aren't going to be around hanging out to watch NASCAR like the diehards are. They're not. It's trendy right now. What kind of world do we live in? We live in a trendy world. Whatever's trendy today won't be trendy tomorrow. It just is what it is. And these people are jumping on the bandwagon. They're going to be here. And then in 3-4 years, when they're all gone, you're going to be back to where you were in 2017, 2018, where I stuck around. I was here. I defended your sport. I was pumping it up. But no, don't listen to me, because my opinion doesn't freaking matter. I've been telling you what to do with this damn sports, the damn next-gen cars, the damn tires. You don't want to listen to me, NASCAR, so eat it. Learn that your sport sucks. Learn. You're ruining it. You're ruining it. It's terrible. It's garbage. And if I didn't have this podcast, I wouldn't even be watching your damn races anymore, because I'm over it. I've invested too much time. You broke my heart, man. NASCAR, you broke my freaking heart. You've ruined me. You've broke it. I'm unrecoverable. I'm devastated. We have to sit there and watch a terrible race. And then it's not even that. It's the broadcast. It's from the top to the bottom. The broadcast is freaking terrible. Same things we say every week. Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, gotta have this freaking appendage measuring contest every week. One's got to one up the other, and then back and forth. The next thing you know, we're talking about nothing relevant. Nobody cares. They were doing a storytelling mode again with Mike Joy. Why are we doing this? Nobody cares about a clock made in the 60s. Nobody cares. Why are we spending freaking 10 minutes talking about it when we have a side-by-side battle for the lead? That was what really pissed me off. I was angry. I was frustrated. We have, I believe it's Hamlin and Elliott at the time, battling for the race lead, side by side for like 4 laps, and we're over here talking about clocks. Okay. Hello? I think it's working again. Holy cow. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my computer. That was weird. Seems to be having these issues. That was probably a sign from God to just stop talking about NASCAR right there. I think that's what that was. I think I will stop talking about NASCAR. Congratulations to William Byron. Congratulations to Hendrick. I've been a pretty much big Hendrick homer pretty much my whole life. I've always been a Jeff Gordon fan. I mean, obviously, you could sell Jeff Gordon stuff around me. I pull for Bowman here now and then, but yeah, I'm excited. That was awesome. Also, well, I guess a few more things I want to talk about is Christopher Bell's issues. I mean, holy cow! I picked him to win this race. I swear I jinxed him. I swear that it was just terrible race for Bell. Holy cow, that was bad. But yes, I'm just excited for some more of these mile and a halves in NASCAR, I guess. I feel like I'm excited for Dover, because Dover's been pretty good the last few years. I mean, yeah, it's a good race at the beginning, and then usually like the tire wear sucks, so then it kind of just spread out in single file for the rest of the race. But I don't know, man. I have a good hope or thought on that Dover race, and we're doing the watch party for that too, so that'll be fun. What else? Oh, you know what? It's time for our infamous segment here. All right. My conspiracy moment of the week is Sheldon Creed is absolutely allergic to winning. Yet again, have an opportunity to win a race, and he cannot get the job done. Will he ever win a race? I don't know. I think he's allergic. All right. I didn't have anything better this week. I could have just went and ranted about NASCAR, but you know what? I think Chillin' Creed is allergic to winning. I really do. I do. I again, another Saturday watching Xfinity race. I'm about to throw my freaking whatever at my TV screen. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. That's how I still feel. So that's unfortunate. But yes, NASCAR broadcast sucks. The package sucks. Uh the drivers aren't being able to show their talent. And yet again, another week where I get to bitch and moan about it. But that being said, let's move straight into the Cup points real quick. Larson retakes the regular season points lead with 309. Truex is 14 points back in second. Hamlin is 17 points back, in third. Driver of the week nominees this week, we're going to go with Chase Purdy, P3 in the trucks. This guy has been non-existent the entire truck career. So he gets a P3. I'll give him credit for that. Survived the carnage. Also, big note here in the Xfinity Series. Carson Kvapil, P4 in his debut. Oh, man. With that JRM number 88, I'm super happy for him. I'm glad that he was able to get a good result. I'm excited for him. P4, that's a great run. And then also, I'm going to give a shout out to Yuki Tsunoda, P10 in the Japanese Grand Prix, his home Grand Prix. Ends up scoring a point. And the standing ovation they gave him, it was a super cool moment. And Yuki has proven to be the head of the Red Bull Junior. So, congratulations to those guys being nominated as drivers of the week. Boneheads of the week. Like I said, Matt Crafton dumping Tanner Gray. Absolute joke. The biggest moaner, whiner, and complainer, and he goes out and does the same stuff. So you'll be nominated, sir. Haley Deegan, ARCA brake master. Only driver I know that can pile into a wreck with being able to see it from an entire straightaway back. So Haley Deegan, nominee for Bonehead Move of the Week. And then also I'm gonna nominate Daniel Ricciardo as well. That was it was a low IQ move. Ends up wrecking early and really potentially putting the nail in the coffin to his Formula One career. Alrighty, let's preview the races this weekend. Let's just get into it. Wind this podcast down here tonight. So this weekend, we got the Trucks Xfinity Cup at Texas. Those are the main races this weekend. Notable entries in the Truck Series. We got Chris Wright in the number 1 Tricon truck. KFB, old Kyle Busch in the number 7 Spire truck. We got Connor Jones back in the number 66 ThorSport. And Zane Smith will be in the number 91 McAnally truck this weekend. In the Xfinity Series, we got Daniel Dye returning to the number 10 Colleague machine. Taylor Gray back with JGR again, the number 19. I think this guy has got potential to win some races this year. He is getting better and better on a weekly basis. Corey Heim in the number 26 Sam Hunt Racing Machine again this weekend. And then old Matty D, Matt DiBenedetto in the number 38 RSS Greenlight Machine. And the Cup Series in the number 33 RCR Machine, that'll be Austin Hill. Ty Dillon back in the number 16 Colleague Machine. And then old Jimmy Johnson's back again for another run here in the Cup Series and the number 84 Legacy Motor Club Racing Toyota this weekend. Alrighty, on Friday, the Truck Series, the SpeedyCash.com 250. My pick for this weekend, it's pretty easy, pretty obvious. I'm going with Kyle Busch. I think he's going to win this race pretty convincingly. He's been so good at Texas. He's been good anywhere he goes in a truck, honestly. I mean, his stats just prove itself. The Spire trucks are just so good this year. We've already seen a win by Sanchez, Pseudo, Spire truck, and Raja, and Kyle Busch. So I think it's just going to continue to roll here. I think Kyle Busch gets the win this weekend at Texas in the truck race. And I think he does it pretty convincingly. He might even sweep all the stages and everything. I don't even know. He might just kick everybody's butt. It's going to be a Kyle Busch show. And then for my dark horse, I'm gonna go with Jake Garcia. I think it's just a matter of time before we see this guy start to knock off some big wins or some big runs and then lead into a win. I believe that the ThorSport trucks are way better than what they've showed last year. I mean, they were good last year. We saw, your washed out veteran and then your superstar couldn't perform in them, but Ben Rhodes and Majeski could. So I think that it's just a matter of time. I think that 13 team is in a little bit of PTSD. They're in a little bit of recovery mode there after what they had to experience last year in the Truck Series. I think they're going to do much better this year. And I took him as dark horse once this year, and their performances have progressively gotten better. If you look at his stats, they're getting a little better. I think maybe this week could be an opportunity where they get a great run, and I'm gonna take Jake Garcia as my dark horse. Alrighty. In the Xfinity Series on Saturday, the Andes Frozen Custard 300. I think this is pretty easy pick for me. I'm gonna take Chandler Smith. I think he's a championship favorite early in the season. I think he's hands down the championship favorite. I think that if you're thinking anybody else is, I think you're kind of a little loopy. But yes, I'm going to take Chandler Smith to win this race. I think Toyota's going to be very good this weekend at Texas, especially in the Xfinity Series. We saw John Hunter do really good here last year. I think it's just going to continue to roll with Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith, unbelievable race at Martinsville. He started, dead last, drove all the way through the field. I think that he's different this year. I think he's built different. I think he's got a different mojo behind him. He's back with Toyota. Watch out for Chandler Smith this weekend to really do some amazing things, and he's going to win this race. And then my dark horse, I know he's allergic to winning, but come on, man. Sheldon Creed, you've got to win sometime soon. I mean, you're a future Cup champion in my eyes, dude. You're so good. You're so talented. You're a nice dude. You're an awesome dude. It's a matter of time, man. I feel like if you could win a race one of these days, man, you're going to start knocking them off one after another. And I think I'm going to take Sheldon Creed as a dark horse. I'm going to continue to take Sheldon Creed as a dark horse until he finally knocks off that win. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Come on. Come on, universe. Do something. Anything I want in the universe, it never happens. But please, please, one time, just give Creed a win. Alrighty. And then Sunday, for the Cup race, the Auto Trader Eco Park Automotive 400 at Texas. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, he is the championship favorite. Like, I'm going to go with the same sentiment here that I did with Chandler Smith Xfinity Series. I think William Byron wins this race. 100% facts. He is your championship favorite. He is the next Jeff Gordon. He is the best driver in the Cup Series right now. Him and Rudy Fugle, once they got partnered up, have been just unstoppable. It's 24. He is in the 24 car. It's Hendrick's 40th year anniversary. What is the number that Hendrick cares about the most? The 24. The 24 team. William Byron. He is going to have just a dominant season. I bet he wins 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 races this year. He is unstoppable. I'm going to take William Byron to win this weekend in convincing fashion. Then my dark horse. I think this guy's going to win sooner rather than later. It's a matter of time. He's in a Gibbs machine. Toyotas have been super good this year. They're the only team to take it at Hendrick at all this year. I'm going to take Gibbs. Gibbs can and will win races. He will be competing for championships soon. He's in the top 5 in points. I just don't think this car suits his driving style. I've said this from the beginning. And yet, even with that detriment, he's still finding performances. I think it's just a matter of time. And I think Gibbs, once he starts winning, I think him and Byron are going to be going at it for years for championships. And it's going to be fun to watch. And so I'm going to take Gibbs as my dark horse this weekend. Texas, I mean, it is kind of a crappy track. The reconfig sucked, and it still sucks. But I hope they don't touch it, because I know when they do, it's going to turn into Atlanta. And that's going to make me sad. Makes me sad just talking about it. So, NASCAR Fantasy this weekend. My lineup this weekend is going to be pretty Toyota and Hendrick heavy here. I'm going to go Gibbs. I'm going to go Bubba Wallace. I'm going to go Chase Elliott. I'm going to go William Byron. I'm going to go Tyler Reddick. A lot of these guys I haven't used too much this year. And I think for obvious reasons, I'm going to take these guys. And I think that they're going to give me some great points this year. Especially with the average points they've been scoring this season has been amazing. So I feel like this is going to be a great lineup for me. Matchups. We got William Byron, Kyle Larson. I mean, this one is splitting hairs, because I think either one of them can win this race. I think Larson should have won this race last year. He had that incident there late with Bubba Wallace. So I'm going to take William Byron just for the fact that I picked him to win the race, and I think that's a pretty safe pick. And then when it comes to the next matchup, we got Keselowski versus Suarez. I'm going to take Keselowski. Suarez's stats are terrible this year. I mean, take out that Atlanta win, he has been irrelevant at best. And I feel like Keselowski, I don't know, man. It's just, had so much expectations, and then it just hasn't worked out. But this weekend, I'm going to take him. I'm going to put the faith in him over Suarez this weekend for that matchup points. Next will be Bubba Wallace and Reddick. A lot like I said about Larson, Bubba Wallace could have won this race last year. Really could have. He's been really fast this year. He's really flying under the radar. He's in points, unlike last year where he had to make it in right at the very end of the season, and that was with 3, 4 drivers that had other issues, either was points problems or injuries, and snuck his way in. This year ain't that way. It's not that way at all. He's been running really good this year. Very impressive. Every week he's in contention for a top 10, even in contention for a win. It's pretty great to see what he is able to do this year. And he's great for the sport. Hate him or love him, he is great for NASCAR. So I'm going to take him over his teammate Reddick this weekend. I think that Bubba Wallace is going to do very good this weekend. And then Blaney and Elliott. I did put Elliott on my fantasy team, but I think Blaney's going to do way better. I think Blaney honestly is a contender to win this race. He won the All-Star race there a couple of years ago and with the next gen car, and he's always been good at Texas. I think that if anybody in the Ford camp is going to do well, it's Blaney. Blaney has been carrying the banner there, so I'll take Blaney over Elliott this weekend. Alrighty, that will wrap up NASCAR fantasy, NASCAR picks for this weekend. I will start winding down this podcast. Yes, start winding down this podcast. It's been a fun hour, quick hour, a lot of ranting. But my announcement that I want to make here on this podcast pertaining to the Backmarkers Racing League is the week of Talladega content that will be coming out as a backup in case I don't have any other content to release at this time. I have been working on all of the highlight videos for all of the Backmarkers Racing League races that have not been highlighted. So during the week of Talladega, all of those Backmarker highlight videos will be coming out probably one a day for that whole time we're out of Talladega. Just have a little bit of backup plan, a little bit of extra content coming out while we're at Dega in case there's no other content. I wanted to keep rolling here on this channel, even while we're gone to Talladega week. So look out for those highlight videos. Maybe see some of the races that we broadcasted and get the full-length highlight video. So it'll be fun. So if you're a Backmarkers Racing League guy or a driver, a fan, or someone that just enjoys the broadcasts that we do, come tune into those. Those will be fun little content to watch while we're out at Dega week. There'll also be other content coming out, I'm sure, as well. I haven't really scheduled it too far ahead of time. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. I have just been grinding away, just trying to get everything ready for Dega, and it's been tough. I'm ready for Dega week. I'm ready for vacation. I'm ready to bring the party going on again. So, yes. So look forward to that this week as well, or this next coming week as well. Also, rest of this week schedule here. Wednesday we're off with the Motor City Trucks, but Thursday Backmarkers at Kansas. So make sure to tune into that. That'll be a race just before we go off to Dega. It should be a fun race. The Backmarkers put on a wonderful show. Kansas is going to be a great race. If it's anything like the last couple mile and a half they've ran, like Chicagoland and Charlotte, it's going to be a banger. You don't want to miss out on that. So tune in on Thursday for that. Then Friday. Oh man, on Friday, we're doing a little prelude to the Dega Games podcast right here on this channel. It'll be me, Tom, and then the King of Camo, Nate and Ryan, our good buddies over there that we're going to be competing against at the Dega Games. We're going to be previewing the Dega Games, all of the competitions that we're going to be making, some of the content we're going to be creating, a little bit of trash talk, a little bit of smack talk going into the Dega Games, and introduce our audience to the King Camo if you guys don't already know him. It'll be super fun. I'm super excited to have them on here and talk about the Dega Games and our Dega week and preview that for you guys here on Friday. It should be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about it. And then on Saturday, tune in for the PSCRL regular season finale at Daytona. They're doing some Daytona duels, so that should be fun. Tune in. Some little plate racing, some super speedway racing. It should be a good time there with the Backmarker or with the PSCRL racing gang as well as they close out their regular season, heading into the playoffs here soon. So super excited about that. And then, yes, that will wrap up the rest of this week's broadcast. Next Tuesday, though, little special episode 65 of the Full Send Half-Mast podcast. I will be in Georgia at Tom's house. Donovan will be there. Jared will be there as well. You've seen them on the channel a time or two here over the last year or so that we've been on this YouTube platform. But we are going to have a garage talk style podcast. We'll be hanging out in Tom's garage and talking about the races this weekend at Texas. And then we'll also be previewing all the big races. And we'll also be just having fun, shooting the breeze, having a good time, talking about racing, talking about whatever. Just having a garage talk, quick episode. have fun there with that Full Send Half Ass podcast. And then also, oh, that's what I was going at. Watch party. Watch party. The watch party that won the poll this month is the Dover NASCAR Cup Series race on April 28th. So make sure to tune in. I think we're starting around 1:30-ish Eastern time on that Sunday. So make sure to tune in. Come watch the race with us. We're going to hang out, chill out, relax. I don't think we'll be able to be having any of those brewskis or anything, because we do have a broadcast right after with the PSRL guys. Well, most likely. So, but nonetheless, come enjoy the race with us. It'd be just as if you were on the couch right next to us watching the race, getting our live reactions. We'll be talking jokes, interacting with the chat, just having a good time. Really chill, laid back watch party. They're always a fun time. So I can't wait for you guys to be there. Also, if you guys would like to become a channel member here at the Dega Boys, holy cow, what the benefits you guys get there. All of that goes back to help support the channel. But it'll give you opportunities to come join the podcast, come join some of our broadcasts, maybe get some merch if you want to become a diehard member as well. Some paid entry fees into some of our special events or any of these leagues that you guys want to join here with the different leagues that we broadcast. That would be fun as well. And then also you'll get a big shout out in all of our live streams, like Dallas Seward, our original member. Thank you, sir, for big supporter of our channel. Dallas, we love having him around the channel. He's such a good time. Always brings great content to this channel. We can't wait to have more content with him here in the near future. Also, Steven Downton, Next Sim Racing. Oh, man, what a big help he is to us with all of the league stuff that we do and helping us with some of the overlays and the broadcasting side of it, and also supporting our channel and helping us grow for the future. So thank you there, Steven, for that. Also want to give a big shout out to Telltaps, big supporter of our channel. Race in the Back Market Racing League. He also ran and some IndyCar with us. He's a big supporter of ours, so thank you to you as well, sir. Richard Latuke, new member of our channel, as well as Mad Duck, old Daniel Maddox. Thank you, Daniel, for all your support as well. Same with you too, Richard. We appreciate it. We love all of our channel members. You guys mean the world to us. And all of that goes back to help us make more and better content for you guys here on YouTube. Also, go check out our merch store where you could get some Big Daddy IMSA merch, some Big Daddy NASCAR merch, some Dega Boys 1-year anniversary merch, all kinds of cool merch. There's some Andy Jankovic Jesus merch. It's kind of funny. But yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff on there. Joey Legato, milk carton merch. Yeah, go check it out. You guys will enjoy it. It's fun. It's a fun time. Lots of cool merch. And all of those proceeds go back to help our channel as well to make bigger and better content for you. Also, I need to mention this. Go join our Patreon because we're going to Talladega and we're going to have a lot of content coming out of Talladega. Some of it might not be YouTube friendly. So go subscribe to our Patreon and you'll be able to access all of this great content we make at Talladega. It'll be a blast. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Also, all of our full-length crash compilations are on there as well from each month. So the ones that YouTube doesn't like, the ones that YouTube does demonetizes or whatever, copyright, whatever. We put those full-length versions on our Patreon for you guys to enjoy every month. So yeah, there's a lot, and there'll be a lot more content on that Patreon as well here in the next couple months, especially leaving Talladega, and then there's some more ideas and plans we have with that Patreon as well in the near future. Also, go follow all of our socials. We got X, we got Facebook, we got TikTok, we got Instagram. Go follow us on all those platforms. And help us grow our platform and our brand name as well. Also, again, another big shout out to Zach Bates. If you guys end up seeing that Dega Boys broadcast NASCAR truck races petition out on the internet anywhere, fill it out. Yeah, just do it. Let's see how many signatures we can actually get on there. You know, let's see if we can actually change the world here a little bit. The NASCAR broadcasting. Yeah, and with that being said, this will be episode 64 of the Full Send Half Mast podcast. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you to you, Logan, for tuning in tonight. You brought some good stuff to the podcast. I appreciate you a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully tune into some more podcasts here in the near future. Thanks to everybody else that watched as well. We had a fun time tonight. I had a good time. Tom will be back next week. Thanks for bearing with me here tonight as I ran rogue solo here. But yes, we will catch you all in the next one. That'll be Thursday for the Backmarkers race. We love you guys. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.
And I'll be honest about it, like I felt like I was going in a downward spiral. Obviously, when you aren't doing good in racing, or at least having those results, it don't matter if you're running 10th and you get wrecked. People look at that number. They go on that racing reference and they look up, oh, she finished 36. Well, yeah, because I was running 8th and I got jumped. And so people look a lot at that end number and don't see how it went throughout the race. And I think with that, though, it becomes like, okay, what if sponsors are getting unhappy? What if whoever, the team's not believing you? Whatever it is, like I feel like, and those aren't things like, my team believes in me, and I'm super thankful for that. I have a really good crew of guys behind me. It makes it hard to find sponsors when those results aren't there. And plain and simple, because people look at that end result number and don't see if you are getting better or you're not, whatever it is.